Welcome, everyone. This is Pike Noodles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Sanswinda,
Hello.
Calabathian,
Let me unmute myself. Hello.
and Krister.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. It is time to start out with the latest news for this week, where they have released update 31.1.1. which was released on Wednesday, a day later than expected. And what they added to this one was Akak Zahar, the Houses of Rest. This is a dungeon in the Pit of Stonejaws. It is designed for, it looks like it's either 1 or 6. Any other numbers in between? Krister, do you know?
I know it is a 6-man, at least. So.
Yeah, I know there's a 1-player version, and I know that there's a 6-player version. I think someone said they did not see a 3 in there. So
yeah, I wasn't aware of it being a 3-man, but I knew it was a solo in the 6. So.
Yes, and based on my attempt at doing it, it is tough because it's a 140 only instance. So I couldn't tone it down any in order to be able to do it. Did you have a chance to do it, Krister?
We did, yeah. We ran the 6-man, and it was. I recall you talking about an instance where you guys went in there T1 and stomped everybody, and everybody was celebrating. It was so easy, and it's like, it was so easy. Let's just do T2. It's going to be a breeze. And then humiliating, horrible defeat after horrible defeat. However, we did enjoy it. But our hubris and our T1 victories was quickly washed away in a sea of shame and defeat. So.
Well, seeing what happened to me at T1 in the solo mode, I cannot take a high ground above you on this one.
But we're going to be having the fun part is now thinking about the strategies we're going to develop and the party mix that we need really for success. So it's going to be fun figuring it out.
Okay. And note that players are not required to complete any of the Gundabad storylines to play this instance, but of course you do have to discover the instance, the Houses of Rest, inside of the Pit of Stonejaws. And it's not all that difficult a place to get to if you do questing in Stonejaws, because some of the questing does take you near the area where the entrance is. Though how to get there otherwise, I'm trying to think, because when I went to do the discovery deed, it was because I had been ported to a place nearby in another quest. So when I exited that place, I decided to head for the entrance of that, and I couldn't find my way out of the Stonejaws after that, and wound up milestoning to someplace.
Yeah, I think a lot of people appreciated when our 6-man group showed up because we just were killing everything there and keeping it clear. So people were able to. I don't think there's a place you can just stand by that entrance and not run into a patrol or something,
Ah. All right. In addition to the Houses of Rest, they also had a level cap increase for Honor, where Honor is now at level cap 120 and can now access the Grey Mountains, the Vales of Anduin, and the Shades in the Swamp. And the legendary item max item level has been increased to 365. The legendary item maximum item level will increase to 399 on the 19th of January in 2022. The Grey Mountain scaling instances will immediately be available up through Tier 5. The leading the charge deeds for those instances will be available through January 18th. In other words, just before they increase the legendary item max in there. So if you want to lead a charge, you're going to have to do it under the 365 maximum in there. The Anvil of Winterstith raid will be immediately available through Tier 2, with the Anvil raid Tier 2 leading the charge deed available through January 18th. Tier 3 of the raid will become available on January 5th, with the Anvil raid Tier 3 leading the charge completable until February 8th. So you'll be able to have the 399 limit in the second tier for Tier 3. And the Depths of Kidzu Kala will be immediately available through Tier 2, increasing to Tier 5 on January 19th. The Kidzu Kala leading and charge deeds will be available to complete from January 19th through the February 22nd. And that, of course, that is for Honor. Also, other updates. For the Brawler, Rush now costs 1 point instead of 2. For the Champion, several Champion skills were incorrectly using crit chance modifier rather than critical magnitude modifiers to increase the damage of their critical attacks. And these errors have now been fixed. For most players' builds, this will result in an overall DPS increase from critical attacks. And
Wait a
as for
minute, how does that work? If you decrease, if you get rid of something that increases damage of critical attacks, how does that up your overall DPS?
No. It was accidentally reading the chance modifier instead of the critical magnitude for scaling the damage. So now the critical magnitude will properly apply.
Okay. I was
Which
confused.
should be
I was
a
like,
DPS
hold on,
increase.
Yeah.
I was like, my logic processes have just gone. Bzz. That didn't make any sense.
All right. So you'll only be nerfed if you had a higher critical chance than critical magnitude.
Mm-hmm.
And as for the Hunter, improved penetrating shots cooldown has been increased from 0 to 1 second. And this change is needed to prevent a discovered way to abuse the skill. As for items, legendary items can now increase to item level 470. That is up from, it was at 465 before, I believe. Oh, I should have been, I should have thought of that way because I was putting some runes on my legendary item today. And of course, I was doing it all on the assumption that 465 was the limit. All right. If your character has reached level 140, speak to the I have to. Oh, I'm going to have to reforge it anyway before I can do it.
Yep.
All right. Okay, that makes sense then. All old legendary item blank names now have the sealed term prepended to their names. While these can no longer be identified, they can still be used as cosmetic items. And roving thread legendary item blank vendors now accept figments rather than tokens for these items. And that's because they're being treated as cosmetics. Quests and adventure areas. Yuletide Festival. The missions in Azanu Bazaar, Gundabad, and further adventures now count for the Yule Festival quest, a mission to bring good cheer. The biggest stomach of them all is once again a daily quest. Players will now receive a single token if they finish the first table. The Shire Holly Steed skill will now correctly summon a horse if you are a human Bjorning elf, high elf, and a pony if you are a dwarf, stout axe, or hobbit. The Shire Holly Steed pony coat color has been corrected to match the brown horse.
I summon my new steed as a high elf, and it's a pony. It's like, how am I going? You get on it, and your feet drag along the ground. Like, hi ho, Silver!
The NPC Alex Gray has returned to barter for your Yuletide Festival tokens. For the Fate of Gundabad Assault on Third Stroke, players will no longer get stuck in Goth and Shoom's room. People were getting stuck there. Instance quests for the Den of Puklok and Assault on Thurstroke now awards IXP tokens. Den of Puklok and Assault on Thurstroke now bestow quests on tiers 4 and 5. Assault on Thurstroke's Meta Deed now bestows all tier completion deeds bestow on Assault on Thurstroke regardless of tier. The quest guide has been updated to correctly point to Zul Mazal for epilogue endings and beginnings. Slow travel between Margaret and Draco now functions as intended. Slow travel to Felgot, Northern Welkin Lofts, and Ibdech Berzuru, Central Welkin Lofts, from Gunamach, Central Carbonach, now functions as intended. All travel routes.
I wonder what they mean by that. I wonder if at any point you were hurling off of a cliff to your death if you're taking the long travel.
Well, I suppose that's always a possibility.
The other thing I've sometimes seen, though, is that your horse just, like, runs into a wall, or your mount just runs into a wall, or a low object that you didn't think could possibly be an obstacle, and just stays stuck running into that same spot for hours.
It's those drunks that programmed the goats in Moria.
Yes. All travel routes from the War Room Stable Master now display swift travel. Cloven Gap, Gundabad, Quest, Tharkirn's Bubbles won't bestow until Girja has moved to Mazan Manar. Players waiting to turn it in. The completed quest, The Sky Has Fallen, and she will move to the proper location. Miscellaneous. Fixed a bug where High Elf males was using the mounted version of the eating emote while standing.
They're on an invisible pony.
Yes. The High Elf or horse riding animation has been restored to its original version. And the Elf and High Elf Runekeepers will now use their correct idle animations when their rune satchel visibility is toggled on or off. And that's it for update 31.1.1. Now, concerning Honor, they did notice that there is a known issue on Honor where there are regions in the Vales of Anduin that are improperly preventing questing in the area because they are being flagged as a restricted area. Players can continue to quest in the Grey Mountains, where dragons dwell, portion of the level 120 content until this issue gets resolved. We expect to resolve this issue in the next game update, and we'll keep you updated. Now, he did not mention when this next update is. I suggest you don't hold your breath because your choices are either very quickly, which would mean next week, or in January, because I strongly doubt that they're going to be doing anything between Christmas and New Year's.
I just like that it's actually there are regions in the Vales of Anguin with a G. I was like, hold up, we got a new area?
Well,
no, I knew it was Anduin, but
I was hoping just to go by that typo.
It's like Anguin. Where's that?
But I will suggest, though, you just cannot pull anything past an English teacher, right?
Nope. Well, you can, but it's only because we let you.
Well, maybe that's what a D looks like. Maybe that's what a D looks like in ancient Elvish. And for instance, I don't know if you guys know this, Mordor is spelled with a 5 in ancient Elvish. So
spelled with a 5?
Yeah, the 5's silent though. You don't pronounce it.
Okay.
I don't ask. Don't ask.
Otherwise, otherwise it would be more Cinco door.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, Mordor is sinking.
Sinking
This
Mordor.
Wait, I thought that what sank wasn't Mordor. It was the other place. It was okay. Continuing.
Let's have a look then at a producer's letter posted December 2021, though this will cover the updates for the first quarter of 2020.
Wait,
2022,
we
I mean.
we
Yeah,
we
what?
got a producer's letter like a month early instead of like 6 months late.
This is, and, well, having one 6 months late is going to be a problem in the future because they have decided that they're going to have producers' letters quarterly instead of annually.
Okay, because I
As
was suddenly terrified and clutching my cat, thinking that the world was fixing to end.
oh no, what's happening here is they have decided to give the producers' letters to the producers rather than to the executive producer. The executive producer controls both games and has usually been too busy to get to the letters in the past. So they decided to have the producer write it, and he actually, yes, finished it in a timely manner so that it will get out before the quarter in which it is doing. So their plan is to get it out at the end of a quarter, and that'll cover the time for the quarter that follows it. So therefore,
So
this
is
will
this like
cover.
the first time in the history of the game that this has happened, or I mean, is
It's,
there a celebration that needs to happen here? I mean, do we need to pop some champagne or something?
I think there was an. I think back in the Turbine days, I think there was one producer who got it out in December, but I can't be too sure on that. But there's a possibility that it has happened in the past. Any case,
Okay.
let's have a look at what's in store. Hello! For those of you who may not know who I am Reninia, the producer of the Lord of the Rings Online. Servalin hasn't gone anywhere, but I'm now picking up the duties of writing these letters and keeping you all abreast in the goings on with the game. Mainly because I guess they decided he might be able to do it on time.
Wait, is
Which
Reninia a he or a she?
he.
Okay.
Yes, I got confused by that until the first time that he participated in a live stream.
Okay.
And which brings me to another change being made to these letters. Moving forward, these letters will come out quarterly and they'll cover the next quarter. So today I'll be informing you what we're planning to do from January through the end of March. Next time, which should be around March, it'll give you a preview of what's coming between April through the end of June and so on. All right. First off, our big update for 2022. First big update will be update 32, and it's expected to be in mid-February, and will begin the celebration for the upcoming 15-year anniversary and bring with it several things.
Oh Lord, let's have a look.
First, beyond the falls of Amglarsoon is the Cloven Gap lies Avnakara, the hidden hoard. Once a grand treasury housing the gold and coffers of Diren the Deathless, it has been claimed by Hrimil Frostheart in her lair within Mount Gundabad. Within this frozen retreat, Hrimil tends her wounds and slumbers, dreaming of vengeance upon Prince Diren and the dwarves of the Gabil Aha. We're really excited for all of you to experience this awesome conclusion of the storyline as we look towards the future. Look forward to seeing this 12-player raid on Borrower soon. And I would presume, though, that even though they spelled it with the lowercase soon, that it's more likely a soon with a TM and capitalized and all that fun stuff. Second, we're bringing player housing to Erebor. One
Yay!
One of Smog's last treasure hoards has been opened, and the dwarves of Erebor have moved in to reclaim it. Join them in owning a piece of Middle-earth in the Great Hall under the mountain. This new premium neighborhood will include 12 base premium houses, one special base premium house. I believe that special premium house is inside of a geode, 6 deluxe premium houses, and 1 premium kinship house, along with a full suite of town services and social spaces for you to enjoy with your kinship and neighbors. In
Now,
addition
which
to the,
are they all going to have the gold in them, or is it only one of the ones in particular? Mm.
I'll get to the gold in a moment.
Okay, dang it. Sorry, I was playing Mork Deer earlier, okay? So,
In addition to the new neighborhood, Erebor Housing introduced new exterior music and day-file hook types to allow players even more customizable options in their homes. We also intend to extend the usage of housing permissions to allow players to make their yards fully private from uninvited guests. And to answer Calabathian's question, as for the gold, it is actually in a central pool that's it's sort of the central courtyard in which all the houses are placed. So you have this big pile of gold, and then you have a couple of tiers of houses going around it.
so it's not your own little private Scrooge McDuck like
No, no,
vault that you can
no,
swim in.
no. It's not. It's not a private one you get to swim in. It's a public pool, I guess.
Oh, we'll need to get our floaties, in other words, and don't anybody pee in the pool, okay?
Third and long awaited is our legendary item reward track. Each season of the reward track is planned to run for 3 months and will give rewards based on your play that will help you to progress your legendary items and a few other goodies as well. After each season, the rewards will refresh and you'll be able to progress anew. All of your characters on the world will contribute to your reward track progress on the world. That means your main and your alt will help you earning awesome rewards. We'll see how awesome they are when the reward track is released. And fourth, we'll introduce a new area, the Angle of Mythethel, stretching south from the Trollshaws to the junction of the Bruinen and Mythethel rivers, is a wild land of rocky hills and deep pine woods, and a graveyard of an ancient kingdoms. The ruins of elves and men alike crumble among the trees, and the rangers steal through the shadows of the trees, ever watchful, carrying out secret assignments as the north grows more dangerous by the day. The angle of Methaethel will be for levels 40 to 45.
So is this going to be, since they're talking about Rangers, no spoilers, even though it's been like 15 years, but no spoilers. I'm trying not to spoil anything. But because there are Rangers involved, um, is this going to be like post Ring in Mordor, or is this going to be during the point when there is when basically after you have to go gather up people and bring them south?
I
Or is it
am
going to
go-
be even before that?
I am going to assume that it's going to be before that since it's at level 40 to
Hmm.
45, which means it'll be around the same time in which the fellowship is still in Rivendell.
Okay.
That
Okay.
will be my guess.
Yeah, because I was wondering when they said rangers are stealing through the shadows of the trees ever watchful, carrying out secret assignments as the north grows more dangerous by the day. I'm like, well, that's obviously not going to be after everything has happened because but it couldn't be too early because we really don't get into anything with rangers for a little while. So I was like,
What? What do
this
you mean?
going to be like a time related thing
Yes.
or?
You mean you don't get into stuff with Rangers? For you, the intro, the
Yeah,
tutorials
no,
are
I
all
mean
with
like,
Rangers.
I mean, you're not getting into stuff with Rangers to like secret mission Rangers, um, to that degree in Rivendell until later on.
Well, I guess we'll just have to see when Update 32 comes out in February. Finally, Update 32 will see the return of the Spring Festival with the new pets and housing rewards. During this time, we'll also be making progress on our legendary worlds of Shadowfax and Treebeard. On January 5th, Treebeard will be making its first jump, entering the fabled mines of Moria. And Shadowfax will continue progressing, this time to the dangerous lands of Isengard. Months later, on March 2nd, Shadowfax will be entering the vast plains of Rohan. We'll have more news on when Anar will be making its way to Minas Morgul in the next letter. And besides all that, we'll continue with our ongoing work to improve the performance and lag. Boy, I hope they find some magic way of getting rid of all of it, but that's another matter. Make
Oh yeah.
adjustments to class balance and continue fixing bugs and further refine the new legendary item system. These various things will arrive just about every pack. And that is it. I'm really excited for you all to see all the progress that we're making and the updates we'll be releasing in this quarter. And I'm also excited to hear how folks feel about the new format of these letters. So we're extremely thrilled to celebrate our 15th year anniversary this year, and we're working on 15 more. And that's the producer's letter for first quarter of 2022, going by when it'll be covered, what the time frame it's covering.
Feeling that if we're around for 15 more years, we may want to update some of the engines and things that are running the game. I'm just saying.
All right. Anyone else have any comments on the producer's letter before we continue on?
Not
Why
yet.
am I like the only one that's been talking? Y'all say something.
Something? No.
Wah, wah, wah.
Uh-huh. Right. Let's then head into a Bower update. This is actually the first Bower update for Update 32, but it's not the raid. No, it's not the raid that's in there. It's not the reward system. It had Erebor housing, though. Our first look at
Wish
Erebor
I'd known that. I
housing.
would have been in there.
Yeah, and so I went into Bower and bought an Erebor house in there. So I was going. Actually, think I bought a rather big house too. Maybe a little bigger one that I would actually buy on a real server, because that thing. Maybe I accidentally bought a kin house or something. Who knows? But in any case, it was a 3-level house and very easy to get lost in that thing. So there were 3 entrances, one to each of the 3 levels. So huge yard on that. Now there's a gate to that particular area, so I guess you have to have permission in order to go through the gate, and that's how they're going to be able to
Well,
keep
it may not have
trespassers out
been.
of your yard.
It may not have been a kin house because I think there are some houses in Rohan that have like a basement, a main level, and an upper floor.
Yeah, you might be thinking about are you talking about the meat halls, or are you talking about something else?
No, regular house, not the meat
Yeah,
hall.
regular. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, had that, but it was also huge. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I can't judge the. It was actually more likely just a deluxe house in there,
Wait,
but those deluxe
hang
houses
on.
are big.
When you say huge, Pine Leaf,
Yeah.
did you buy it with a hobbit?
Well,
Because
yeah.
everything's going to be so much bigger if you're a hobbit than if you're a regular person.
All right. You do have a little. You do have a point there. But in any case, that was. I checked out on the house there to see what it was like, and as at the lowest level, I decided to dive from my yard over the fence and into the pool of gold. So I did some gold swimming, of course, because you you can't go into the Erebor housing for the first time and not swim in a little bit of gold, right?
You can't go into Erebor housing the 100th time and not swim in the gold. What are you talking about? You see
Well,
a whole like pool of gold, you gotta swim in it. It doesn't matter if it's your first time or your 100,000th.
Instead of gold spammers, you guys will be gold swammers.
Or
Oh, did I think I muted myself too quick. Gold swammers. There we go.
yes, right.
no, you didn't mute yourself, unfortunately.
No,
Hey, I thought you said you wanted me to talk. So
No, I did, but be
like
careful
most
what
people
you wish for, I guess.
exactly. Yeah, I was going to say like most people, you regretted that.
yes. Anyway, they also had the storyline of Karl Bronach. They added additional quests to that, looks like, for 135, 136 range. And so if you've completed all the quests that were in Karl Bronach, then you can continue on that storyline. And there are 20 additional quests that are being added for that. And that is it for theirs. And that concludes our update. So let's head into LOTRO Beacon number 230.
I can tell they're not Welsh because that is not a skeletal mare trying to rap battle you for your food and drink, especially your alcohol, at the door. It's just a person with a candle at your door. So probably a regular caroler or yeah,
Someone going around wassailing or something like that?
maybe so.
Let's head into our community spotlights. Deco de Melu has a preview of the Erebor housing on their website. And the Hobbity Yule calendar continues through the holiday, and you get daily bits of fun from their blog. Helgoth has created a music video for the Yule Fest in Frostbluff, and you can check that out on the LOTRO forums. Agent Brigman will be making a real-life mysterious drink and marinated mushrooms from Yuletide this Sunday on LOTRO stream. And you can read more about that on her Twitter feed. And
Why do I have this feeling that this is going to wind up? It needs to be on camera. That way, if they do wind up somewhere without their pants, we know that mysterious drink was not so mysterious after all.
Or that they got that mysterious drink from the Sinister Cake.
Yes.
all right. Anyway, since this is on Twitch, I will presume that they are going to have that available for on-demand viewing afterwards so that you could have a chance to look at it if you are hearing this after Sunday.
Don't spoil it if they wind up waking up somewhere without their pants, though, because, spoiler alert, try to give us that at least.
Well, I can't spoil anything yet because it's not until tomorrow.
No, I'm just saying
the
whoever
recording.
hears this and, they're...
All right. Laurel's Den has your 2021 Yuletide Outfit collection. You can see the cool cosmetics on the blog. And Nangolas is hosting a holiday event on the French language LOTRO Discord. And you check that out on the LOTRO forums. And the LOTRO Beacon will be taking a break for the rest of the year, but you can get the latest sales and bonuses on LOTRO.com. See you in 2020, and thank you for reading.
2020?
2022.
We going back in time, baby.
No.
Well, someone thought
No.
that someone thought that we needed to repeat 2020 because of how bad that came out the first time around.
Let's go back to 88. That'll really mess people up. They'll have to start using rotary phones again.
In 88, I mean, most people were using touch-tone phones by 88.
You had a good mix, but you didn't have mobile phones. If you did have mobile phones, they were gigantic bricks that were in your car hooked up to your lighter.
Well, yes, they
long
did
and-
tend to be that way. Let's then head into the concert calendar, where the Winter Solstice Festival is taking place, well, this weekend on Saranan, and that is through Sunday, so there are still bits of it left, and you can read more about the big festival featuring bands from across the servers at the LOTRO Artist website. And also, the Hobbitry in Arms invites you to celebrate Yule with them on Sunday at Laurelin. So that, of course, is tomorrow as of this recording. So let's head on to the Kin Hall, where the Sleeping Gatherers are a kinship of on Gladden with a stage for plays and concerts, a snowball arena in their front yard, and more. So now, for a weekly comment. This might be best for Krister.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's all you, Krister.
What makes a character raid ready?
So that would be the forethought of being completely prepared to raid. And what that would mean is that you have health potions, you have power potions, you have all the max level droughts, you have scrolls and tokens at max level. And you absolutely positively do not say before the first poll, how do I play my class again?
I feel that way whenever I try to tank with a brawler.
Yeah, but the main thing is just to be.
I'm never going to be raid ready then, because I will probably be the one saying, "Oh crap! How do I play my How do I play my class again? Help me!" I'll just be
that's the most
anxiety attack right before.
I can tell you, Calabathian, for your fellows in the raid. That's one of the least inspiring things to hear right before you go in. Especially if you're the healer. That's the worst part. If you're the healer, so.
Well,
how do I heal again?
Yeah, there is one thing that could be scarier to hear. Leroy.
Leroy Jenkins.
We've had those happen before.
Saying, oops.
We haven't had it intentionally, but we have had some hysterical moments where somebody gets up and then they hit auto run accidentally right when they got up. They just hit their keyboard.
Yeah, oops is sort of a bit of a problem. Because I remember one of my first 6-player instances. We're in the middle, or at least cap level 1. I hit level cap in the middle of battle. Now, I was playing, this was in WoW, and I was playing a hunter. So, hunters do similar things in WoW that they do in LOTRO, except hunters have pets in WoW. And therefore, in the middle of a battle in a room, I hit level cap, grats and all that stuff. I step 3 feet back and pull another group while we're fighting a first group. And so 5 seconds later, I cause a wipe. Yeah. That is, yep. That's how you don't play a hunter.
See, that would be clever if Standing Stone could program in enough logic that I would love to see it if you screw up badly in a raid, badly enough that you see that Gorgoroth laughs as you fail message appear on your screen, like when you fail that one raid.
Uh-huh.
People need to be
Let's
punished. But the main thing for the raid is just to be able to follow instructions. That is the big one. All the incidentals can ultimately be supplied by other people if you need them. But really, it's just paying attention, being able to follow instructions, and knowing how to play your class.
And it helps if you know what your limitations are so that you could try to do a role that you're able to do.
Agreed. Yeah, that's do what you love. I'm a person that loves to tank because I like paying attention and running in and saving people's bacon. So that's perfectly suited for me. But a lot of people like standing off and doing DPS. Lore Masters just like throwing a spell every once in a while, reading a magazine, laying on a chase lounge as they have a martini and everybody else is sweating and dying.
Hey, I need
It's not that they're doing that. It's just that they have such a huge, like, lead-in time before their stuff triggers that, they hit, like, you have to hit, like, key number 1 and then, like, go make dinner before it triggers. I mean...
Yeah, I might have showed my biases there. I'm sorry about that.
I sense a slight bit of hyperbole.
No, really. I was also about to say, in the vein of Leroy Jenkins, I guess the LOTRO version would be Leland Underhill, but maybe that's
Bingo
just me.
Boppin'!
Leland Underhill. Anyway.
Yes. Let's into our fan site news. Hollyberry has created a holiday-themed video called The Winter Mathem, a Hobbit Yule Adventure, and you watch that video on YouTube. The Shire Herald is regularly updated with features and funds. Get the newest issue on their website. Druid's Fire is hosting a Christmas Eve marathon on LOTRO stream. You can get information on our Twitter feed and be there for giveaways and fun. She's hosting this because all the rest of the streamers, I think, are taking Christmas Eve off. And whenever they're off, she takes up the slack on it. She does a lot of work when we're streaming. And Frybro Jedi has updated his complete Yuletide cosmetic guide, and you can find it on Frybro Jedi's blog. And Laurel's Den has added the Houses of Rest to his Fate of Gundabad guide. Get starting points and more in the blog. Maybe I could tell me how I could survive the bosses in that particular. How do I survive the first boss in that instance?
I think what you need to do is all of your gear needs to be oriented towards you being a tank, and then just pray after that. Get all the mitigations, all the morale, everything you can. Just abandon any goal of any class-oriented damage or anything like that. Just armor yourself up, and then I would pray, and then I would cheat. See if you can cheat. Buy stuff off the LOTRO store to enhance yourself in every way. Drink every possible drink you can drink. Perform every possible ritual you can perform. And then, if you can...
Even the one with the chicken bone.
Yeah, see if somebody can reprogram the game for you to actually...
Hey, how about if I do something else first before I resort to that?
Okay.
Maybe I should finish that last third of the storyline, maybe finish the storylines of a couple of zones. Maybe that'll get me some higher level gear so that perhaps I'll have an opportunity that I might be able to actually be able to have a better chance of surviving.
No, you can do all that, but you...
That's it, though, too.
I welcome your vote of confidence.
The gear that you're going to get at especially max level, is going to be incredibly. It's going to be an incredible boost. So
yeah. So anyway, we'll see how well I do that when I finish gearing up and maybe getting those legendary items up to, was it 307 or whatever that's some 170, and see how that works out. Last week,
970. 970.
I don't think it's 970.
You said some 170. I was just trying to help.
Last week, we found some jade gemstones in Gundabad. And Wild Mill LOTRO Music has created a story and music video featuring LOTRO, and you watch that over on their YouTube channel. BioBreak has the Ballad of Northern Lights, and you read about Sip's latest adventure on the blog. Princess Quill has the 10 best classic LOTRO soundtrack songs, and you read more about that at the blog. Cosmetic LOTRO has a holiday outfit for a silent night. You can see that outfit on the Cosmetic LOTRO blog. LOTRO Stream is your first stop for LOTRO on Twitch. This week, Eldolet has festival fun. El Gawain runs a hunter, and the Heart of a Hobbit celebrates Yule. Also on Twitch, Cat Psycho conducts a Russian language stream. The Green-Eyed Gamer levels in Gundabad, and Professor Teacher G enjoys music, questing, and more. And over on YouTube, Positively Evil brings you a 1-hour Ale Association delivery run. LOTRO Soundtrack Collection has music from Frostbluff, and Keep Smiling runs Blood of Azog. And this week's screenshot of the week seems to be over in Frostbluff, where Jimmy Thornshield on Twitter took this screenshot of the Merry Minstrels playing seasonal favorites in Frostbluff in this week's screenshot of the week. And you can find Jimmy's Twitter feed at the link given, and you can submit your screenshots by emailing it to lotro@sunnystonegames.com.
And I really, really wish that I had known that there wouldn't be a beacon for the rest of the year, because I would have tried to get my next big thing for Reindeer up so it could be in the beacon and they could mention it. But yeah, alas.
Well then,
Just a
maybe
couple weeks.
Working Deer will have to wake up at the start of the next year then.
Yeah. Something like that, I'm sure.
Yes. All right. Gundabad, do you want to read the store sales tonight?
I guess so. So we've got Yuletide savings. We've got 75% off Bjorning and character slot bundles. 50% off housing property writs. Stock up on those because we've got some lakes of gold to swim in coming up. 35% off vault storage, and who doesn't need more of that? December 16th through December 23rd. So, little Christmas gift for those who you love who play LOTRO. Actually, you don't even have to love somebody. You can totally send me some. You can, even if you don't even know me. I'm totally up for that. You can also start a new journey. You get 25% off character slots, sans. Veteran status, sans. Stat packages, XP boosts, now December 16th through December 23rd.
I would love to make good use of those character slots that are on sale. Alas, they won't let me buy any more. Totally worth it, though.
Have they banned you from buying any more? Or
I've apparently hit the cap. Yeah, kind of like I can't buy any more inventory slots now.
No.
Yeah. Oops.
Is this?
But it's awesome.
Is this all of your character slots on one?
I can only have 51 characters on any
one server, or could you use them on another server? So what I'm hearing you say is...
character slots are bound to account. Or are account-wide, so each server I can have 51 characters on. But I cannot buy a new character slot. Alas.
Alas. And your weekly coupon, my friends, for a free morale bubble potion ×5, use your coupon code BUBBLEUP. BUBBLEUP.
Bubble up. Bubble up.
Percolate a little bit, y'all. December 16th through December 23rd. Oh, and here's a note. Sales for the rest of the year will be updated on Thursdays and will be located on the LOTRO.com site under Yule Savings, and that's YULE savings, not like contraction. You will. Yule savings, you will savings. It's like, yes, I will.
Yes. There's also a note that the curator will be returning on Christmas Eve at 10 a.m. and will be around until January 4th. So if you need to get a hobby horse or anything like that, the curator will be available to do so. And we have a 25% XP boost for Treebeard, of course, and no boost on that, while Shadowfax will get plus 75% from 12:30 at 10 a.m. through January 3rd. And now for our site news, where Andang had a little review of some Google Trends based on LOTRO in there, and I'm not exactly thinking his review here was particularly scientific, if you ask me, especially when he was saying that because LOTRO's current Google Trends is at 2% of the highest value it ever had on Google Trends, that means that LOTRO is dying. I decided to check out what number WoW currently has. And it's currently also, and its November number was 2%. So I think I'm not buying Anding's argument as a result of that.
Maybe November's just a month where you're focused on, like, shopping or something instead of searching video game information.
Well,
or you've already searched the video game information for the current update, and you don't need to keep Googling it.
Well, I don't know. It's
also,
yeah. Anyway,
if our people base, I mean, November is also the time when a lot of university people are studying for finals toward the end of the month. We've also got Thanksgiving. So there's a lot of, I can't even be on the game right now because I'm with my family. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what correlation there's supposed to be on, because as I said, I saw that WoW had the same numbers. Well, absolute numbers are different, but since he was emphasizing the percentage compared to the highest percentage in the history, in other words, the highest would be at 100%, and that 2D, and those were the numbers that he was using all throughout the thing in there. And as I said, WoW is also showing at 2 to 3%. LOTRO are right about 2%. So okay, and he failed, and he did not mention that little one and he didn't mention WoW's numbers in there or anything like this. So he's
well, yeah. I was about to say. So I mean, if you extrapolate from that logically, then I guess WoW is that's the popularity level of a dead MMO. So WoW is a dead MMO.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think he needs to be a little more rigorous in that particular one in the moment. But anyway, and that was a little article by Andang.
Yeah, I would actually look at popularity levels not during a huge holiday / end of semester time frame when everybody is logically going to be distracted and maybe not on the game, because your popularity level is probably going to dip.
Well, it's
and the
not
fact that, well, I'm just saying the fact that World of Warcraft has the same as LOTRO, it kind of, you can't really, it just goes to support what you're saying about it's not really, you can't really do that and say, hey, it's down to here.
Okay.
Obviously we're declining, towards dead MMO stage, because now you've brought in, you yourself have brought in the fact that we're kind of the same as World of Warcraft. And if World of Warcraft has dipped to the same level that we have, obviously something else is going on.
Well,
so
yeah.
it's not, yeah.
I think it's just time. I think it's just time stuff like that, because there are a lot of things which, in any case, it was a rather strange thing when I noticed that particular item that WoW had the same number going on right now. So, but it's not necessarily related to the time of the year because it's been because as time goes on, number of hits in Google tend to go down on just about anything from there. So it's not like it's just gone down for November, December, and then goes up on it. Usually stays, I think, about flat or something like that on most of the time. But in any case, I have not done a scientific item on that, and I don't think Andang's done enough of a scientific one on that in order to convince me that there's a pure correlation there. So let's go into our week in gaming. Killabathian, what are you up to?
Mischief and mayhem,
What
as
else is new?
always. Actually, for LOTRO, I ran. I was kind of absent last week, but so one thing I did, not this past Friday, but the Friday before with the Academy, we ran Weathertop's instance and discovered that Candice uses his fists to fight, which makes him a brawler, which
Okay.
means he probably shares our drinking problem.
What, that you can't keep the mug in your hand in the middle of a battle?
Well, yeah, that too. That too. I'm surprised we don't see him throwing a mug somewhere, but you know. But this week, the Academy once again realized that Lalia is a spoiled brat of a hobbit who needs to be eaten by a bear on the way back to Bree. I'm just saying. You rescue her, you get her through all that, you send her on her way, and it's like you can't help thinking like, man, I hope she gets eaten by a bear before she gets home.
But the bear will get a
We
tummy ache.
actually were discussing the fact that maybe she's adopted, and this is why she gets everything, and why she is the way she is. I also took my Valard champion Cassowary into Gundabad with Pine's Tuesday group, and kind of to experience how the enemy tries to instigate that dwarf war that's brewing, because I think we're on like step 5 or 6 at this point now. Specifically when we're basically told by the opposition, right before the fight, because it's always talk, but how they basically say that oh hey, you've got 2 princes, how's that going for you? You can't, a crown doesn't fit 2 heads, that kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, instigation city. But yeah, so that was kind of what we did this week for LOTRO. And then on ESO, I took my Necromancer through some new Life Day festival stuff because I like the irony.
Killing people on Life Day?
Yeah, it's like New Life Day, and I have a Necromancer who deals with dead things. So, I'm just saying, there's irony there, and I enjoy it. I wallow in it. How about you, Krister?
I wallow in it.
How is your Christmas fixing to go?
It's Restored Life Day, then.
Yeah, Restored Life Day. Reanimated Life Day, okay?
Reanimated Life Day.
Well,
which, maybe they should wait until Easter for that. I don't know. But anyway. But yeah, so Krister, how is your oncoming Christmas activities going?
Oh, they're great. I've been doing a lot of adventuring in LOTRO with my Mega Hunter and his devastating machine gun bow, and I finished the main quest line, the main storyline on him for Gundabad, and I have to say I liked it. I liked it all the way through. It was cool. Good enemies. Looking forward to seeing the raid on that. And boy, I'll tell you, at the end of this, you feel like you have earned a bachelor's degree in Dwarven history. So I feel like I know a lot about the dwarves now. And it's really cool. So I definitely enjoyed Gundabad, and I'm happy to see that the quality of the content is is still great, So
Krister, I heard you
yes,
mention something about a machine gun bow.
oh yes,
Is that something you get in Gundabad?
no. That's you see, I primarily have played a captain, and so I'm used to the pace of captain DPS, which I've never ever had a problem with. Although everybody else who's ever played anything that actually does DPS hates the captain's DPS with a passion. However, going from captain DPS pace to hunter DPS pace was an incredible transition. So I enjoyed it so much that I just basically just gleefully ran through Gundabad in a state of possibly just psychosis, just machine gunning everything down, just laughing as I went. Look at this; it's so much fun. And so then, of course, all this material had flowed into my crafters. I've been all characters have been logged in doing stuff. There's just been this flurry of activity because this guy just the DPS is so much fun. It is so much fun to play Hunter. There's just nothing to say
Okay.
about it.
Okay, because I was confused. I was like, there's a bow that allows you to go really fast, and because I play
No, it's just that
hunters, and
they're
I'm like,
incredible.
even faster.
It's so fun just to see them all drop or hit him with hit him with the two AOE shots and just see three or four mobs die right away. It's just satisfying.
Okay, that reminded me of in Standing Stone's other game where there's a class that specializes in repeating crossbows.
Ooh, that would be kind of an interesting thing to introduce into LOTRO.
Yeah, now that would be more literally a machine bow.
Yeah, and then we, like we were talking about, we ran the House of Rest 6-man, and once again, the tier ones went really smooth for us, and we got cocky about how smooth it was, and then we got our rear ends kicked by the first boss T2, but by the end of us this is a group I've raided with for years, so we're used to dying and dying and dying and dying to figure out one thing, so we felt confident that we had a reasonable strategy to try the next time that we did it, and unfortunately our composition was technically we had two tanks in our group, so in a T2 situation that was ridiculous. We needed another DPS basically, so that kind of handicapped us for T2 anyways, but we did get killed pretty quickly too, so I can't really just say, oh, it was because of our group composition. We were weak.
Especially considering that it was a tank that you had extra of.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, people died quickly. So we got some work to do, but it was a lot of fun. Definitely liked the material itself, the actual adventure, how it looked, and our adversaries were really cool too. So, and then I have my complaint I need to make. I'm finding it really frustrating to be doing that quest, the main quest storyline, and we get issued an XP rune as one of the rewards. And it's like, you know what? Could you guys make those useful again before you issue these as rewards? Because right now it's just like,
no,
you gave me toilet paper.
They're issuing them as rewards because the quests are supposed to be rewarding IXP as reward. And the trouble is that the IXP, until they have the rewards track in, you can't earn IXP.
They should give us a free rune carry-out.
Now that would be good.
No lie.
My main complaint is them just clogging my inventory up. I constantly am fighting for 5 free spaces at any point. So having these just in my inventory is frustrating.
Well,
and you have to create a character just to have the space to just send all your runes to that character and something. Just hold this for me.
we just hoping. Oh, please get that reward system out quickly before update 32. I hope.
Yeah, so that I'm hoping exactly because once that comes out, then we're spending them, and then everything's fine. So,
right.
So that was my complaint, but and then my non-Minecraft activities strangely involve something from Minecraft, where I got inspired to build a 2-scale ghast in Starship Evo, which allowed me to like fly the ghast around. And then I got into this bizarre thing where I was building bigger ghasts and then war ghasts and then heavy duty war ghasts. And now I've built a kitty ghast, and I just built a Roman Legionnaire ghast. So I'm having a ghast. I called it. I'm having a gastro-intentional issue, where I'm intensely focusing on gastises. What's a group of ghasts? Is it a group of ghasts a gaggle? A gastel?
Is it a fright of ghasts?
A fright? Ooh, I like that. A fright of ghasts.
I have no idea, but I'm sure it's ghastly.
But anyway, so actually been having a lot of fun this week. Sans, what have you been up to?
Well, I ran around Breland dragging many mobs behind me while catching up on the epic story. Because, surprise, surprise, my alt that was the same level as Squares had not done the same things. And then we proceeded into the Barrow Downs, and it was pretty awesome. Now, there was a little girl, Alia. She insisted on going to find her coat, so we kind of just left her to it. She's not very good at finding it by herself, so we had to go and hold her hand later. But, it was pretty fun. And I got to hear Tom Bombadil's new voice, which is like this. Are you sure we're in the right place? Like, something's off about this. And then Claire made a comment about the voice. I was like, oh, that's probably what seems off about this. I forgot completely that they had told us they changed this. I just haven't been by to hear it, so.
Howdy, folks. My name is Tom Bombadil.
I was like, something's off here, but I don't know what it is, so that's probably what it was.
Like, when did this man... Tom, you're not... You're supposed to have been written for, from someone who's in Europe. Why are y'all speaking like you're from Texas? From the hills of West Virginia. Hey, y'all, come on in. He's like, okay, big Tex with the yellow boots.
Well, and I was clearly paying so much attention that I noticed right away. No, not at all. I was just like, something here doesn't seem right. And then we made it into Gundabad, and we were kind of shocked that we got actually into Gundabad so quickly, especially with a dwarf still shouting his intentions. But then I was looking around that first area, and there's this big, empty hole to nowhere, chasm, gaping open alongside this. Like, you can see that there are all these places where you might fall to your doom in Gundabad. And I thought, I wonder whether or not there's a deed for falling into the depths of Gundabad. And while contemplating this and trying to decide whether or not I could launch myself over the lower tiers into the depths of Gundabad, I fell off the ledge and died. I did not make it into the bottomless pit I was aiming for. But I did find a staple master that I had not yet discovered. And so then when I went to show Terry where it was, I fell off again while trying to point out where exactly I had fallen. I think I found the same spot. And I survived that time, which was almost worse, because then I was surrounded by mobs and had no idea where I was. But then I realized that I was one step closer to leaping into the depths of Gundabad, so I did. And once again got stuck on a ledge, and I died, so I got back to the stable master. But, yeah, I was kind of bummed. No pop-up text or anything cool. So maybe I need a different location to jump off of. I'll have to keep working on that.
Well, it sounds like you're going to work on that organically, at least, Sans. You'll probably just be falling off those ledges naturally, right? I mean,
Probably. Maybe
totally
one of them will give me like a
whatever.
no further nuisance title. We'll see.
Yeah, I swear, Sans, you're going to give up on ever finding any kind of deed, hidden or otherwise, for jumping off that, and then suddenly you're going to accidentally fall off in the right place, and it'll be like the deed will pop up, and you'll be like, "What?"
That would be really funny. Or if there were like random banana peels hidden around, that would be pretty fun too. You can just like walk up to them and slip off where you're supposed to. I don't know that they had banana peels though to be leaving around. Then I played some Pokemon with Cinders, and we both got our first gym badges in the last couple days, so that was pretty fun. Pineleaf, what have you been up to this week?
All right, we'll begin with my Crick Hollow Warden, who continued questing in the Gundabad storylines. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the story now. So I'm making some progress there. I'm also making some good progress on the mission track where I've completed 7 of the 10 mission chapters on there. So I am getting close to being at full rank for the Joruko on this character. And but that's right, because when you get to the final one, you get what I'm going to call the Pine Leaf Goat when you finish the entire Joruka storyline. And my Honor Warden headed for the Iron Hills. So I made it to there and made it to Yarnfast, where I'm getting ready to speak with the Slakeless. And soon I'll be meeting Deeren, I presume. And I'm sure he is not going to create any trouble whatsoever, right?
No. In fact, he just takes a bath.
Yeah, right. And I started a new single-player Minecraft world where I enter into the world. I looked around as usual, trying to find out what's the best thing to do, get the lay of the land. And I noticed that this birch forest where I spawned into was on fire. I'm going, all right, how am I going to get through this now? I don't have anything yet, so now I have to do some firefighting in order to save this world to it. I did find a lava flow that was creating trouble, so I went to the lava flow. I cut that off so as to get rid of the source of the fire. I went around and did some firefighting, and when I came back the following day after leaving the area and then coming back, the fires were out, and that was much, much happier on that matter. And now I'm starting to get acclimated to the area where I am, where I have near a nice river, and I'm hoping that river will become the centerpiece of what I'm going to do for this particular round in this particular world. And that completes my week in gaming. Now, as for news beyond LOTRO, Darren Loremaster has another poem here on Denethor II, the last steward of Gondor. We currently have 14 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious array of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money will be used for podcast hosting, our website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. And if you wish to support us without joining Patreon, you could contact Drac at lotraplayers.com. We did not receive any emails this week. People like, since when? You can send it to podcast at lotraplayers.com. You can also us at Twitter. The Players Alliance at Players Alliance, Lotra Players at Lotra Players, Arendis at Arendis, Piney Fit Polyf Needles, Senswinda at Senswinda, Terry Edwin at Terry Edwin, Guarendis at Guarendis, Calabathian at Calabathian, and Krister is cleaning tables at Frostbluff.
That's right.
His favorite little hobbit is sitting.
I got to make sure he's okay. I care about the guy.
All right. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays today, 30 p.m. US Eastern Time. We have Lotra Players News on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, or more likely, whenever Drac is available, we have DDO Players News. And that is all for tonight. But until next time, this is Polyf Noodles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.